This is gonna sound so juvenile. I'd apologize if this is your first impression of me, but somebody needs to say it. For a film of this caliber, for a film of this popularity, this is some booty cheeks. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a 1997 slasher written by Kevin Williamson, yes, the man who wrote Scream, and directed by Jim Gillespie. It stars Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Felipe, and Freddie Prinze Jr. Though, as I said, with scripts written by Williamson, its source is loosely based off of the 1973 novel by Lois Duncan. The new requel is unfortunately coming out, I think, June 18th, and it was we revisit the original, and oh boy, do I have thoughts. On a $17 million budget, the film grossed a massive $125 million at the worldwide box office. I read that Williamson wrote the script before his screenplay for Scream, which was a year before, but was unable to sell it. And following the big screen success of Scream, Columbia Pictures immediately bought the rights for I Know What You Did, and they produced it to capitalize on this newfound horror success wave that Kevin pretty much ignited with his script. This film is pretty much a straight, cut and dry, modern update of the old slasher formula, rather than a deconstruction of the genre or an evolution of it. And that was the exact problem that a lot of critics and audiences had with this movie. They just felt like it was a massive step down from Scream, which was clever, it was innovative, it was meta. Today we're diving into the film that asked, "What are you waiting for, huh?" And the answer was a better third act.
Right.
So grab that slicker, don't open that envelope with your name on it for your own mentality, I warned you, and take a boat ride with me as we cruise along the waters and talk about a mid-tier slasher that became a franchise anyway. The film starts off in traditional 90s fashion with sweeping across the ocean, waves crashing, and a rock soundtrack. On the edge of a cliff is a young man, and you can't tell if he's about to do something dangerous or if he's just having a beer for the vibes. Fireworks set off above him that take us to a small North Carolina town, the 47th annual Kroger Festival on the 4th of July. The host presents this year's 6 Queen finalists, and the girl we zoom in on is Helen. Up high on the balcony are the rest of our protagonists, Barry, Julie, and Ray. The teen shenanigans are already starting. Ray makes a comment about Helen's, titties, and Barry just laughs, saying that she does exercises to pump them up. Mind you, Barry is the one dating Helen, not Ray. And Julie, the one in the middle, yeah, that's Ray's girlfriend. Why would you say that? So Julie's like, "You guys, I'm on sexist overload as it is. Cool it." She's such a girl boss. After the host asks Helen what her contribution to the community and the world at large will be, she softly yanks that mic out his hand like, "Well, Bob, this summer I plan to move to New York City, where I will pursue a career as a serious actress. It's my goal to entertain the world through artistic expression, and through that, I shall serve my country." Right, we know how this is gonna turn out.
Now, this year's Kroger Queen is Helen Shivers.
And serve she does. There's a party later where we follow the girls, and Helen asks Julie how her hair looks. Julie says, "Check, hurricane proof." And Helen tells her bestie when she becomes a big hotshot lawyer to always remember the hair. Women think it's all about brains and ability, but don't worry about their hair. I'm only including these lines because it comes back later. That's when Helen's sister Elsa stops them, asking if Helen's riding with her home. But Helen declines and said she told their mother she'll be late, so Elsa's like, "Oh, Miss Croker is getting sauteed tonight, huh?" Yeah, Elsa is a hating asshole. Leonard from The Big Bang Theory plays a guy named Max, and he stops Julie saying he brought her a shooter on the house. She is immediately like, "LOL, no thanks, homie. You're not gonna roofie my home, girl." Bro is like, "How about I take you out before you leave town?" And before Julie can respond, she looks back at Helen for help, but she ends up shooting him down. Even though Julie turned him down, he's like, "We've been friends forever. You can't leave leave without saying farewell. Did you just hear what she said? Nephew, come on. No means no. No means no. Barry and Ray come up. Barry swipes the shot, toasting to his friends in their last summer of immature adolescent decadence. Bear takes the shot, calls Max chum bait, and then pushes him, so the boys are about to scrap. But Ray gets in the middle of it. Max is clearly our first red herring because the camera just lingers on him a few seconds too long. The gang rides out to the beach, sitting around a fire where Ray's telling a story about a couple who are about to get diced by an escaped killer with a hook for a hand. But everyone gives their 2 cents on how they heard the story. Julie calls it fictional, it's a fictional story created to warn young girls of the dangers of having premarital sex. But Ray calls it an urban legend, American folklore, usually originating from a real life incident. Later, Helen's humoring Barry about their future. Right after she's finished a 2-year contract on an acting gig, it will coincide with Barry's first year as starting quarterback. They elope to Europe or wherever where she'll let him impregnate her with their first of 3 children before he heads off to rehab, and then they can live happily, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Julie's saying how much she's gonna miss Big Daddy, but in his words, you don't have to. He tells her that she can ditch Boston and come to New York with him. Or you can ditch New York and go to Boston. What? Julie is the one with the high IQ here and the ambition to be a lawyer. Where are you going, Raymond? What do you want to be? Where's your career? Julie's saying how Ray's gonna go off and fall for some head-shaving, black-wearing, tattoo-covered, body-piercing philosophy student and she'll never see him again. But Ray educates her on the success rate of high school sweetheart relationships, being higher than any other type of relationship. And when Miss Scholar Girl Boss Lawyer tells him to cite his source, he touches his heart. Turn this shit off. Turn this shit off. Julie takes her cardigan off and Ray's like, are you sure? Ray talking about Barry and Max is tired. No, this is tired with this damn acoustic guitar music. I wish somebody would say that to me. Cite your source. And then you just... Barry's too boozy to drive, so Helen tosses the keys to Ray. Helen's all over Barry. She's like, come on, sit in the back with me. I'll let you do things to me. Girl, you nasty. Barry ain't doing no finger workout though. He's busy rocking out to rock and roll, bro.
I think that I'm just a rock chick and I like to rock out.
Standing through the skyline, everybody is extremely annoyed by his drunk ass, and it's when he drops his bottle and it spills all over Ray and Julie that Ray takes his eyes off the road, which I don't get why he would do that. I understand, you just got cold liquor or whatever on you, but the way that these roads are designed, there are curves left and right, like it's only a liquid. Keep your eyes on the road. Watch out! Barry's got blood on his face, but he wipes it and says that it's not his. The boozy bottom is going off because his Beamer is up. Woo, yo, that's like a $10,000 job right there. And I won't front, this entire scene, this entire situation is stressful as hell because there's a big moral dilemma here. Like, what is the right thing to do versus what is the smart thing to do? Nobody can see anything until Julie's like, oh my god, we hit a boot. Okay, she didn't say that. That was Buffy in Scary Movie.
Oh my god, we hit a boot!
And speaking of Scary Movie, I did a video on that not too long ago, and I Know What You Did is one of the main storylines that it is making fun of. It's starting to sink in that they hit a human and everybody actually starts panicking now, as they should, because the body is only a few feet from them now. Ray checks the man's pulse and thinks that he's dead. So Barry starts cussing up a storm and Julie says that they need to call the police and get an ambulance. Like I said, the moral dilemma, if they call the cops, they're all screwed. Julie is calling it an accident, which it is. Dude was crossing the street in the middle of the night and Ray wasn't drinking or speeding, but whose car is it? They not gonna believe that Ray was in the driver's seat. And not only that, there is liquor all over the car. Remember, he spilled the bottle. It's not looking good for you guys. It's not looking good. Helen is like, no, we're all white. Julie's white. We're women and we'll tell them the truth. But Ray says this is manslaughter and they're all gonna fry. Barry brings up them cleaning the blood on the car and Julie is like, are you guys listening to yourselves? Like, we are going to the Popo.
We don't have time for your shit! You understand? We gotta move fast!
What would you guys do in this situation? What is the right thing to do, right?
Right.
More screaming, more hooting, more hollering. Things can trace back to Barry with his car's DNA being on the body. Helen wants to pretend it never happened. Ray says by the time they find the man's body weeks later, all the evidence will be washed away by the current. But no matter what happens, Julie says that she will not be any part of this. And puppy-eyed Ray starts telling Julie how scared he is because he's not like other girls. Oh, sorry. He's not like the rest of them. You know, he doesn't have their family or their shmoney, so you know he just I'm done, Julie. A car is approaching from the distance, so Bear and Ray pick the man's body up and carry it across the road. When the truck starts slowing down, Julie recognizes it as Max's. Push those titties up and smile, Julie. She tells Max Barry's had way too much to drink, but Max notices that the car is bent up.
What can I do for you, Max? You can wipe that my shit don't stink grin off your face.
Oh. Damn, clocked him again. Max is like, you know, you almost got that little rich boy act down. Barry doesn't even wait to show his face until the car is out of sight, but right when Max passes, he immediately gets up like, you idiot. He can still look in the rear view and see the blood all over. So I hate when movies do this. Why do y'all not wait? Why do y'all not wait? They load the man's body in the trunk and take him to a dock where Barry says even if his body washes ashore, it'll be eaten by crabs and small fish. Maybe they'll even get lucky with a shark. For a brief second, we see the man's arm where he's got a tattoo of an anchor and a ribbon with a name that is too hard to read. Julie says they should check his wallet to see who he is, but cold-blooded Barry says let's just pretend he's some escaped lunatic with a hook for a hand and we're doing everybody a favor. Julie grabs her soft boy's arm, so now Ray is saying, I don't think I can do it. Oh, back and is we doing this or not? Like, stop, cut the shit.
Come on, Barry, it's not too late.
You! Shut up! Just shut up!
Christ already, I'll do it.
Oh! I'm not gonna front. That got me on my rewatch. They pushed the stranger in the water, but he yanked Helen's crown off. So Barry jumps in the water to retrieve it, and the man's eyes flick open right when that fishy crown leaves his meaty hands. I think I actually take back what I said about this being the guy from the beginning, because around his eyes, he's like, you can tell he looked like Donald Trump, you know? When Barry gets out the water, bro is tight as a booty hole and throws Helen her crown back, stumping away. So we not gonna mention that the man is still alive? Barry the fairy says they're going home and they are never, ever, under any circumstances known to God, going to speak about this again. Is that clear? Nobody says anything.
Ellie!
Bro, who the f is you yelling at? And Ray, you a pussy too. Ryan Felipe playing this abusive boyfriend prone to violence and threatening is quite something in light of his ex-girlfriend Elsie Hewitt suing him for assault in 2017 and another ex-girlfriend accusing him of harassment. Like, why is he so good at playing an a-hole? Every time I see him, I think about his character Sebastian in Cruel Intentions. Helen whispers that she'll never mention it again. Then Ray says his piece, but when it's Julie's turn, she just nods her head. So Barry says, "Don't you nod your head, you f***ing sad!" So she's like, okay, goddamn. And this is my problem with Ray. I thought Scary Movie was just doing this to be funny, but no, this actually happens. Watch this.
We take this to our grave! Let me hear it! Let it go, Barry! You say it.
What are you good for? Serious question. No backbone, no balls. You're just letting your best friend choke your girlfriend out. Got it.
It'll be okay.
A year later, Julie is on her computer, probably writing a paper or journaling about how her and her friends murdered someone. I don't know. But when Mama turns around, I audibly said, ooh, oh, doped out. Okay, heroin chic. She got the Tim Burton filter on. And her roommate Deb, who I'm willing to put money on is going to be the only colored person and or only have 1 or 2 scenes in the film, is telling her it's time to skedaddle back home. Deb drops Julie off home and tells her to remember sun and fun. Like I said, that was pretty much her 2 seconds. Julie's mother, Drew Barrymore, comes out with open arms, and during supper, she's trying to catch up with their gal pal, but Juju's barely speaking, barely touching her food.
Are you on drugs?
Mother tells her she got a letter in the mail, and no, it's not her report card. She already saw that. Julie has not been doing good in school, and the dean says that she has 1 more chance. This writing is pissing me off. Her mother is like, what happened to my daughter? I mean, you went away and you don't call and you don't visit. And after the mother walks away, she's like, your father's turning over in his grave. It's, Julie picks up the ominous letter, unfolding, and we see 7 words.
I know what you did last summer.
No postmark or return address either. Damn. Call Nancy Drew. Later that night, she's in her room on her sofa. You know that's when a bitch got money, when she got a sofa in her bedroom. She's just staring at this paper like, babe, it's 7 words. What are we pondering on? It's not something that needs to be decoded. It's not a 4-page letter from Aaliyah. It's a single message. Elsa is in her girl boss era, ordering a bunch of men to load out a truck for their family shop. And when she turns and sees Juju, she's like, well, look what the cat drug in. Why is she always so bitter? Elsa, do you need some ding ding or something? Julie asks for Helen's New York number, but she ain't got that. If she needs Helen, she can go to the women's fragrances, 10 feet to her left. Oh. We learned Helen did go to New York for a little while, but it didn't work out. And Helen is Confucian because they were so careful, but were you? Apparently not. Through this conversation, Elsa is peeking at them, and I don't know if we're trying to like set her up as a herring, but that's not working for me. The girls walk to Barry's big ass house, but not from the front like normal people. They are, for whatever reason, coming from the backyard, even though none of them have all spoken in like a year since you know what happened. My theory is that they only did this just to get some dumbass dramatic shot of Barry like looking down on them from his balcony dramatically. Like it. Okay. Bear don't give a damn about this note. He's like, I know what you did last summer. Ooh, so scary. Helen says that they need help, and Barry responds, yeah, I'll say. You know, you guys should check out a mirror once in a while. You two look like shit run over twice. I hope he gets executed first. Bro asks them how did they know that the note is talking about July 4th when they did a bunch of stuff last summer. What? I'm gonna smack the fuck out of you. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, well, only 1 murder comes to mind.
You shut the hell up!
I cannot be friends with somebody like this. Julie points out he was still alive when they dumped him in the water before saying his name was David Egan. Found 3 weeks later, and his body was caught in the shrimp net not far from Miller's dock. It was in the paper and the police called it an accidental drowning. Julie has not seen Ray since last summer. You know, they broke up, as they should. And the last she heard of him, he was working up north. Barry finally wants to be calm and think, questioning why someone would send a note a full year later. So let's think for a second. Who was a witness that night when this all happened? Max. The trio go visit Max's job, but Barry stops halfway to the building, telling the girls to wait because he knows what he's doing. Barry asks to speak to Max in private, and when they are, he grabs them, throwing them up against huge blocks of ice, saying, look, you little pooper stain, we got your little letter. But Maxie doesn't know what he's talking about and what he's on. So Barry grabs a hook next to him, threatening to kill Max, and cuts a bit of his hand. It's not until Barry leaves the room that Max gets off the floor and picks up the hook and, don't threaten me, mother trucker, I'll call the cops on your quarterback ass. The trio run into Ray the fisherman, and because Barry thinks that he's taken care of the problem, he drops a deuce. Helen says she's got to get back to work and tells Julie to call her sometime, and the brown-haired couple are left alone. Ray discards the letter and the theory about Max, saying he's probably just messing with them. This awkward-ass conversation goes nowhere. Ray is like, I know you hold me responsible for what happened last year. And all Julie says is, I don't hold you responsible. I'm responsible for my own actions and I don't blame you, but I don't want to know you either. Then rushes away. All right then. Max is looking mad as hell, slamming hooks in the ice blocks, but seconds later, it's no longer there. So perhaps he's not gonna be our stalker after all. He sees a shadow reflection in the distance, and we finally get our first peek of the killer, 38 minutes into the film. The man runs in front of him and swipes that big hook up his chin. Oh, I winced a little bit. Max's chin is gushing, getting that nasty strawberry sauce all over my crabs, man, come on. Bear hits the gym to take his anger out. And then the locker room after, he hears a sound. When he calls out, there's no response. He takes a hot, steamy shower, seeing the shadow of somebody by the shower room entrance, but still no figure. When he's out, a Polaroid is attached to his locker with the pic of his car right outside the gym. And yeah, I'm gonna point it out because I'm petty. Clip your fucking fingernails. Oh, that is such a pet peeve. Seeing boys with long, dirty fingernails. On the back of the Polaroid are 2 words.
I know.
You know Mr. Hothead has had enough. He's started trotting around the locker room looking for the cruiser, and when he returns to his locker, it's now fully open and his jacket is gone. The front desk man Hank says, "It's just you and me, pal," just as we hear the BMW start up. Whoever the stalker is snatched that boy's Beamer. Barry start running, the car is driving backwards and stops at the entrance. We know he thinks this is Max, so he's like, "Max, you're f***ing dead, bro." The driver flips the headlights on, revving the engine and floors it. Every time I see scenes like this, I'm like, dude, like zigzags, like it's not hard. And he does do that, but he's not doing it. He's not going far enough. This ain't hard. Just keep running, and then right when you get up on, you know, like Bear stops in front of a bunch of boxes and you can tell what the car is about to do, but the Joker still doesn't move. You have 2 options here. Run over the top when the car floors it, or jump out the way. And you know what he does? He f***ing runs straight the other way. Idiot! Where are you running? The car crashes into the shack behind the boxes, but don't worry, Bear is still alive. The fisherman comes out the car and Barry starts screaming, "Help me! Somebody help me!
Help me! Help me! Somebody!
Barry's like, "I'm sorry, Poppy. We didn't mean it, Poppy." Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want you gangsta. I thought you was gangsta. Though in a surprising turn of events, we only fade out on the fisherman and never see what happens. So it seems whoever this stalker is doesn't actually want them dead. Or, yet. We jump to the next day. Barry's in the hospital, so now Julie is really adamant about going to the police. It was in this scene that I learned the coat that the stalker wears is called a slicker. I have never heard that term before. So from this point on, I want to call the killer Slick. Like, that's fun. Barry points out how Ray owns a slicker coat, so now everybody's, you know, turning their neck at him, but throwing the finger isn't doing anything. Barry's idea is they find out who this guy is and have a one-on-one. A one-on-one? Didn't we do that last night?
Help me!
Oh, okay. Helen thinks they should find the guy and talk to him. Maybe it's somebody who's a friend or family member of this David Egan guy. The girls and Ray leave Barry's room, and Ray is saying how the slick man could be Max. Max is gone, baby. He went back to Planet Drool. Julie's like, "Okay, that's what you want, then prove everyone wrong, since that's what you want, isn't it?" "No, what I want is for me and you to—" "There is no me and you, Ray." Then this chick just runs out the side. I am so bored of this relationship. I'm so bored. Julie and Helen look up David Egan on an ancient 1997 laptop and find an article about a girl named Susie Willis who died of a drowning inside of her car after skidding out of control into the water. This Susie was engaged to David and they were going to get married. Julie says that she remembers seeing that name on the guy's arm, you know, the little tattoo. I don't know how she saw that. I'm like, God damn, we were in a close-up and I couldn't even tell what the hell it said. Like, am I tripping? Is it just me? Anyway, these events happened 2 summers ago, and David's mother Claire and his sister Melissa live in Maribel County. On the way there, Helen's got the instructions on a piece of paper she drew on and starts asking much needed questions about their plan. Like, what the hell we gonna say to these people? Hey girl, we killed your son and we're in the neighborhood. So walking up to the house, Helen is like, what if they got a gun? What if they're gonna shoot us, take us out? But Juju says it's been a year and they could have done that already.
You know, Jodie Foster tried this and a skin-ripping serial killer answered the door.
She's got a point. Like, y'all have no plan, and Julie is talking about playing it by ear. When Julie knocks on the front door, there's no answer, so she goes on the side of the house, stepping on logs to look through the windows. Where the hell did all of this courage come from? Let's talk about that.
Huh? Let's talk about that.
All of a sudden, she wanna rise to the occasion, which is good and what a protagonist should be doing, but this came out of nowhere, Cupcake. It was just like a switch went off. There's a mirror perfectly hung up for dramatics and its reflection casts Missy. Julie says their car stalled down the road and asks to use the phone, and the girls even have code names for each other. Julie calls Helen Jodie after the Jodie Foster Silence of the Lambs reference, and Helen calls Julie Angela after Angela Lansbury, which she referenced in the car as the woman who always had a plan. Okay, can we stop with the cheap jump scares? Missy is David's older sister. She says her brother died last July. Daddy died a long time ago, and Mama is in a home in Aurora because she didn't take too well to what happened to David. So Missy is here alone. Jodie pretends their friends are on the way after faking her phone call, so Missy Elliott makes the chicas tea, and they try to dig deeper into the Egans. Missy reveals a man came and stopped by to pay his respects for David. He was a really nice guy, but she's losing his name. He was cute and smart and like, Diva, you are being very vague. Come on, give me something to work with. Then Missy says that they were both sweet on each other for about 2 minutes, but it didn't work out. Missy says that this boy's name was Billy Blue, which sounds like a musician in a rom-com. And things are getting a little too real for Julie, so she rushes out, getting teary-eyed in the car, pondering on the reality of what they've all done. See, now I'm getting pissed off. Missy did all of this just because Helen left her cancer sticks. The film is really trying to set her up as a red herring. I'm not buying that. She is short and she has a small frame. Before y'all say, oh, Scream did it, I don't care. Did you see the body of Slick Rick? That's a grown-ass 6'2" man. Come on now. When they get back home, it's nightfall, and the active plan is to locate this Billy Blue. Helen brings up the assumption that maybe David wanted to die. I mean, his girlfriend was killed on that same road July 4th 1 year earlier, which would explain him sitting on the edge of that cliff at the beginning of the movie. Well, it's not the guy they hit. They think it is, but we know because I told y'all that the guy in the beginning is young and the guy in the water, that's Trump. Helen says maybe he was waiting in the middle of the road for somebody to hit him, but Julie says if that will help her sleep at night, sure.
What happened between us?
Oh shit, here we go. Come on, character work. Helen's saying how they used to be best friends, and Juju's like, yeah, we used to be a lot of things. Damn, cold-blooded, huh? Helen starts telling Julie how she misses her, and she does not say anything. She does not. Oh. Like, why are you being so harsh? Damn. So Helen just gets out the car and goes in her house. Well, anyway, great character work. When Helen gets inside, she says hi to Daddy-O, who's watching baseball, and he completely ignores her. She goes in the fridge, and after cutting back to her father, a light in the hallway opens with an outline of Slick Rick. I'm scared, y'all. This mother is tall. Homegirl is sipping on a sizzurb of a skinny Diet Coke when Slick pulls out his hook, making his way down the hall. But wait, no, he actually went upstairs, we see, just as Helen turns the corner following his tracks. Okay, this is quite suspenseful, I won't lie. The camera movement is telling us he's hiding inside her closet. Helen changes her top and you're waiting for it at any second. She admires her crown when Elsa comes in saying, hey, is the washed up, dried out has-been having a moment? Like I said, maybe she just need the attitude out of her or something. Elsa tells Helen she needs her at the store by 10 o'clock while they do inventory, but Helen can't because she's in the parade.
Well, Dad put me in charge of the store, and I want you there by 10.
Okay. Uh-oh. Now see, listen, you guys, wait a minute. Hold on, Brandy. Let me say this. Tammy.
Did she hear what I said? Helen says the outgoing queen has to ride in the parade prior to the pageant. It's tradition and there's nothing she can do about it. She begins brushing her hair, and before leaving, Elsa's like, you and your hair, so pathetic. Slick still hasn't come out the closet yet, can't relate. And Helen gets in the bed to go to sleep. But sunrise comes and nothing happens. When Helen wakes up, her crown is on her head and she sits up seeing patches of her hair all over the pillow. This man snipped her hair in the night. On her mirror is the word soon. Now you got short hair, 7 years, and a bloody hand. Think about that. Julie gets a call from Helen dipping out, but in the car, she hears a rattling. She pulls over to see what's going on, and when Juju opens the trunk, Max's body is smothered in blue crabs. So she slams the trunk and runs to Helen's on foot. The old blonde couple are close again on the bed, and Julie rushes to show them what's in the trunk. Something is telling me it's not going to be there anymore. Let's see if I'm right, guys. Oh, look, I'm right. It's not there. And how the hell did Slicky Ricky clean all this up so quick? There is no wetness. There's no slob, no residue, no funk, no nothing. Be for real. Unless... oh, this is all in Julie's head. Psychological thriller gag. So now Mama starts freaking out like, no, he was there. He was there. He was wearing your jacket. He took the body. He ran Barry over. He made coleslaw on Helen's head. He's just messing with us. I think we know where this is going. Come on. Come. If you've seen Scary Movie, you know.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
The real version is so abrupt and comes out of nowhere. But not only that, it ends immediately after. Like, she does like 2 spins and then it stops. It's so cringy. I never knew this, but during a US Weekly interview in 2018, Jennifer Love Hewitt revealed that this scene was actually a kid's idea who had won a contest to come on the set and create a moment for the movie. And very funny how it became the most memorable part of the film. The trio go to Ray Ray's and Barry socks him in the face and tackles him. But then they somehow both stand back up on their own. And once again, like I said, because Raymond is a fucking golden retriever, he does nothing. This man is, oh my god, like this dude just knocked you in the jaw and threw you on the ground and you're just standing there like. Barry says that Ray is behind all of this, but Ray reveals that he also got a letter. Oh, you got a letter. Well, I got run over, Helen got her hair chopped off, Julie got a body in her trunk, and you got a letter. I mean, Barry tells Ray to drop the act. He killed Max. He took Barry's jacket. So cut the bull. The way that Raymond looks like he is about to burst into tears at any moment. Is he on the spectrum? Or is he just like an extreme pacifist? When Julie brings up Billy Blue's name, Ray looks like he is recognizing who that is. They all start connecting the dots, saying that he probably went to school with David Egan, so according to Missy, that would make him class of 92. And Miss Tight Coochie Elsa was also class of 92. So Helen says maybe he's in the yearbook. They find David in there, but no Billy Blue balls. That's when Bear mentions the guy's name probably isn't even Billy Blue. I mean, Julie and Helen lied to Missy about their names, so Julie's plan is to show Missy the yearbook so she can point out Billy Blue, but Ray say he ain't going nowhere. Why not, Ray? Juju tells Helen to go to the parade in case Slicky Nicky shows up, but, Helen doesn't want him to show up, and if he does, how are they gonna catch him, and what is she gonna do about it? Julie tells tells Barry to watch Helen at the parade, and if Slick shows up, Barry says that he'll pound his ass.
What? Help me!
Right. The pacifist Ray is saying that all of them sound like a bunch of vigilantes, and Julie reminds him that it's July 4th. This is his day, so whatever he's planned is gonna happen today, unless we stop him. Ray says he wants to do what's right, but Julie isn't interested in doing what's right anymore. I want to do what's smart. The blondies go to the parade and Barry is on the platform with her, on the lookout. For half a second, Helen locks eyes with Slick Rick and yells for Barry to get him, but he's already walked away. Barry reaches him though. He tackles the guy and it's an elder man. Missy pulls out a knife on Julie when she visits her again, so either she knows what's going on or maybe she has some type of memory disorder. Helen's seeing all kinds of men in slick coats everywhere, so her anxiety is off the rocker. But the real Slick is over top a balcony, flashing his hook at her. Ooh, scary. Missy tells Julie that the popular belief with David is that he unalived himself and went on the cliff last July to game over because everyone blames him for the death of his little Susie Q. Bro left the note and Missy claims she kept it hidden from the insurance company because she wouldn't have been able to cash out. And here I am, boo-boo the fool, thinking that she was going to pull out like at least a one-page letter. No. The note she shows Julie says, "I will never forget last summer." What about that reads side note? Julie's like, no misdemeanor, this is a death threat. She admits to everything they did last summer, but Missy snatches the paper like, no, he drowned. There's no tattoo, there's no nothing, you didn't see anything, get out of here, get out of my house. Julie, mama, you better leave this alone. Things are finally clicking. Right? And yeah, she's realizing that whoever they hit last summer, that was not David, right? That was not David Teagan. The actress who played Missy, Anne Heche, sadly lost a brother who took his own life, much like the theory with her in-movie sibling. And what makes this all much worse is that Anne tragically died in a car crash in 2022, just like her brother's girlfriend in the movie. Rest in peace. Helen's making her appearance at this year's Croker pageant to pass the crown, and Barry is on the balcony by himself, but not for long, because Slick comes sliding in the background, and Helen peeps right as he's approaching her baby. No! Oh my god, no! What's actually pissing me off about the situation is that y'all see a woman screaming, pointing up at a balcony and saying that her boyfriend's getting killed, and y'all just swarm around her and restrain her. It's not until a cop asks what's going on that Helen tells them to check the balcony. Oh, let me guess, nothing's gonna be up there.
There's nobody up here.
Oh.
Helen is in the back crying and the cop offers to take her home. Damn, the host is like, we'll be needing that crown, mama. In the car, Helen is telling the cop a rundown of everything she saw, and this dude starts making jokes, relating to the urban legend Hookman. And this guy's like, oh, did this fisherman use the same hook that cut your hair off? I mean, damn, you would expect my girl to have an upper hand here, being a white woman, right? But no, these pigs just hate everybody who is not white or a man. The road is blocked off, so the cop says they're gonna have to drive through the alley, and Helen is pissed. Look, you little shitstick Mayberry ass reject, there's been a murder and you're gonna fry in hell if you ignore it. The cop says he'll contact Barry's parents and put out a search for him. In the distance, we see Mr. Slickman pretending he's fixing a pickup truck, and the cop stops the car saying he's gonna go see if this fella needs help. Huh? No. Crack the window and tell him to back the hell up. Once Helen realizes who this joker is, she starts screaming at the cop, who turns his head like, huh? And bleep blop bloop, he gets diced. Whoa, and let me guess, the back seat door is locked. Let me chill, because she kick out that glass and crawls out in time. She is not playing. While Sarah Michelle Gellar is about to serve in one of the best chase scenes in 90s horror, Julie pulls up another article where she reads that Susie Willis was killed in that car accident, but the driver was unharmed and survived by her father, Benjamin, a local fisherman. Oh no, it's the father plot twist. Yawn. Helen is booking in these hills through the grass, through the street, straight to her family shop, while Slick is speed walking.
Elsa, what are you doing?
Oh my God, this pisses me every single time I see. I'm like, cause why? You see her panicking. Why are you taking your time? Then she's got to stop and get her keys. No pep in the steps.
I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated.
No rushing, no anything. This is the shit I'm talking about. And Slick is only getting closer, but Helen makes it inside. Helen starts telling Elsa, lock the doors, call the police, I'm being attacked, do what I say, god damn it! She runs upstairs to the office, dialing the phone. Elsa goes to lock the back door, and Slick rolls up on her and Helen, you better put that phone down and get the hell out of there. Slick's carrying Elsa's body, holding her by his hook. Okay, Jim Rat. Helen comes out the office like, Elsa, let it snow. Where you at, girl? Tiptoeing through the shop when the lights shut off. She turns around, staring at the row of mannequins. Slick tackles the diva to the ground like a football player, but she gets free. She runs to the back door, but it's locked. Fuck! Oh, okay, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Helen hops on a wooden platform, pulling a thick rope that takes her to the second floor. Slicky is coming for them ankles, baby. Swiping that hook across the platform, but she makes it to the second floor. And like white on rice, he is right on her tail. She runs into a side room, lifting up a window pane into an alley. And Geronimo's! Damn, I know that hurt. That's like a, 40-foot drop? But not only that, she fell on top of a bunch of wood and plastic. Vision is blurry in everything. If you are ever in a situation where you have to jump from a high vantage point, always try to land on your feet so your legs take most of the impact.
What?
Do not, and I'm gonna say it again, do not lock your legs. Bend your knees and cover your head. So when you land, your body will naturally kind of do like this rolling effect, like a parkour roll. That 30, 40 something, maybe 50 drop didn't even bother the queen though, because she gets her ass right on up and keep moving. I know.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know that's motherfucking right. That's the survivor. Why is Helen not the final girl? Right. Let's talk about that. This entire sequence is honestly probably the only thing I like about this movie. This is a solid chase. You know, Helen is out here doing, she did more than Barry did. Julie makes it to the auditorium that is fully emptied out. Womp womp, too late. And where the hell is Ray? Nobody knows. Useless. Helen is booking through these alleyways, shoeless. Fireworks are going off, and she follows the light, turning corners. Baby, I know you a little shaken. I know you a little shaken right now. Your adrenaline is going, but stop looking back, because I'm getting pissed off. I need you to keep going. Her last turn, a parade, can finally be seen, so she's made it. And my girl, she survives. I knew it. Okay, actually, she doesn't. After all that hard work, after all that final girl energy, for whatever reason, she stops halfway up this final alley and turns around. And that's where she messed up. Slick is now in front of her and he yanks her into a corner and starts going ham. Moral of the story, never look back. Stop looking behind you. All I'm gonna say is he might have gotten Helen, but word, yeah, you know what I'm gonna say? Buffy would have beat the brakes off of that man. Toe that ass up. Julie is running through the festival and goes to the dock recognizing Ray's boat. She tells him we didn't kill David Egan and it was someone else on the road that night. It was Benny, baby, Ben Willis. He's a fisherman. Even though David's body was found in the water, Juju is saying that Ben took out Davy Wavy, not them. So Ray says, you think Willis killed David and then we killed him? What? Did you Fucking idiot. Did you just hear what I said? Ray is like, LOL, silly little rabbit, come aboard, come inside. But Julie wants to find Barry and Helen. She takes his hand, but when she looks over, she sees 2 words. Billy Blue. Julie yanks her hand back saying, oh my god, it's you! You're a Billy boy. You went to Missy's. You were the friend. You're the fisherman. How could you, Ray? Ray is like, wait a minute, Sugar Plum, I can explain. But Julie yeets and, oh, the fence is locked. Oh. Oh! Juju says, thank you, feller. Thank you. Can you please help me?
Easy, child.
This is Ben Willis. Ray's coming back to conscious and Ben yells for Julie to get on his boat. First thing she notices is Slick's hat, and at this point you're just, screaming at the screen for her to grab a knife, something sharp, something pokey. But no. Let's just investigate. There's a room filled with news articles about what all of the group have been up to. Benny's been taking pictures and printing them out. One of the pics was Julie on the float. Like, what? That was not even an hour or so ago. He move a little quick, don't he? I'm going to say it again, and this is the last time I'm gonna say it. Julie is standing there instead of grabbing a weapon. I say this every hard. Grab a f***ing weapon unless you want to die. But no, still taking her time. You know what? I don't care. Get them all, Ben. They deserve it. Slick comes in spinning his necklace saying kids like you should be out having fun, drinking, partying.
Running people over, getting away with murder, things like that.
Right.
So now Julie is like, you're Ben Willis. No defense, standing there with nothing, standing there on faith. Julie runs to the front of the boat and realizes it's already off the dock and Ray is too far away.
I wanted to be a cowboy, baby. I want to be a cowboy, baby.
She sees a flare gun the same time Ray sees a tiny Minecraft boat. Juju loads the flare Glock and Ben starts the boat machine. Oh my god. Ray starts up the engine, Julie moves a piece of wood which reveals a metal rack taking you under the boat. How did she know what that was and how did she know that that was going down? Okay, movie. She's trying to hold the rack down while Benjamin Franklin's using his hook to lift the rack up and Ray successfully makes it on the boat. So now Ben's attention is on him.
Welcome aboard, Ray.
So?
No, I'm saying
what now?
So, what's the plan, Raymond? I'm getting real sick of everybody coming into situations and not having anything in it. Y'all y'all are standing on faith. Huh? You standing on faith, ain't you? I'm walking. Ben starts swiping at Ray, who's got his puppy dog face on, not knowing what the hell to do. Julie's going deeper into the boat, locking doors. Ray starts throwing duck punches, then turns to run for Julie.
Julie!
You think those baby punches gonna keep this old man down? Come on now. When Julie finds her way back to the top of the boat, she screams Ray's name, which only distracts him. Giving Ben the upper hand to toss his weak ass off the boat. Ray is hanging onto a piece of the boat that's dragging him along. And at this point, you just want it to be over. We have 10 minutes left. Oh god, we have 10 minutes left. What are we gonna do for 10 minutes? You know, these are the days. These are the times. Oh, I just wish I had a gummy. I wish I had a river. You know, Ben's trying to get in Julie's hiding spot and she's struggling to find an exit because her main one has a big load over top the trap door. Ray starts climbing up the net and Julie finds another side door. God damn, how many little hideaways, trap doors, how big is this boat? She closes the door right when Ben gets inside, takes off her top so all the teen boys can sit up in their chairs, and wraps it around the handle using fem power to pull it up and crawl in the ice room. My nipples are cold just looking at this, but it's not actually ice. All those little teensy weensy balls are actually gelatin, so Jennifer could move around comfortably. Oh! Oh! Ray is back on the boat and he can hear Juju wailing, so he starts panicking. Benny opens another trapdoor that leads right to Julie, because of course it would. She's like, ah, no, Mr. White Candy Man, I want to be in the sequel. Ray grabs a rope with the thick metal hook, swinging it and knocking Ben in the face. Now that can knock somebody. That is a hard impact. Y'all see that, Joe? That mug is like this big. And I said to myself, if he gets up, we're just going to have to skip these last 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I might have to turn this off. Like, I'm sorry, are you Michelle Myers? Are you Jason Voorhees? Julie she keeps deep screaming as she always does. And after Benny grabs her, he says, "Happy 4th of July, Julie." And she's like, "Please, girl, it was an accident." And Ben says he knows all about accidents. And he's got some advice. When you leave a man for dead, make sure he's really dead. Benny lifts his hands up to take out the final girl, but his hand gets caught in the rope and Ray Shmoney activates it. So the rope snatches that 60-year-old wrist and drags Benji up, slicing his hand off. Better learn to jerk off with your left hand, man. Because this is a movie, after his hand is cut off, his leg is magically caught inside the rope. It makes absolutely no sense, and now bro is swinging on one leg, no hand, no dignity, no rice, no beans. He swings far enough where he's just shot into the water, and the couple hugs because it's all over.
Right.
Later on, we get the classic horror movie / thriller post-climax scene where a bunch of police and detectives are taking pictures of the scene. There's ambulances, blue lights flashing, and our protagonists are wrapped in blankets like, it's over. Ray says he had to know who this guy was because of the guilt. And that's why he went to go see Missy, then apologizes that he didn't tell her, blah, 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 blah. I cannot stand this goddamn couple.
No one gets me the way you do.
Yeah. All you can do is laugh.
I understand your pain.
But you don't. And I don't believe you. When the net is pulled up, all that's on it is Benjamin Franklin's hand, still gorilla gripping that hook. And the sheriff says, "Oh well, the body will turn up. They always do." Huh? Back at it again, a full year later, Julie's in the locker room on the phone with her Ray Bear, and things are peachy. Mommy's made the dean's list. Go ahead. She turns her shower on in the outline of Deb, you know, the black girl who had 2 scenes, tells Juju she's got mail. When she walks out the washroom, that minimalistic envelope and handwriting are striking a nerve. Julie's face is stone cold as the shower room starts getting cloudy. Ooh, spooky. What do you think the note says? Turns out it's just a pool party. What do you think it was? Julie enters the showers. The room is infested with steam, and as she walks deeper, straight ahead are 3 words.
I still know.
She whips her head back, trying to keep composure before...
Weak.
Although I have very negative opinions about this movie, I do find that the conversations surrounding morals to be quite interesting. We can look at situations like these in film and horror films, you know, through our screens, whatever, watching from the comfort of our home, but put yourself in these characters' positions. Like, that is truly what would you do? What is the right thing to do? I mean, they quote accidentally kill someone who was already a killer. There were so many valid points throughout that entire opening. Do you give yourselves over and ruin your future? Or do you try to cover up the fact that you thought you took someone's life? These characters tried to drown a man, but instead just drowned their futures. Julie becomes a shell, Helen loses her dream, Barry gets angrier, and Ray just exists. Ray's punk ass. I cannot stand him. The most useless, dumbfounded, punching bag boyfriend in all of horror cinema. Helen, though, was the real tragedy here. Let's be honest. She might have the best character development. She went from this glowing queen, not necessarily vain or stuck up, but she was the archetype of a princess, the popular girl, and after we see things didn't exactly take off for her, she's humbled. She seems more humbled and grounded. She even tries to rekindle the relationship with Julie, who just completely brushes her off because she's going through her own stuff. That scene ends way too fast, and their fallout should have been explored more. It could have added more emotional weight to these characters. Julie could have been a thriving lawyer. I'm not only saying Helen was the only one with a dream, but she had the strongest character, the biggest fall, and best chase. I mean, if she just stopped looking behind her, like damn, she was right there. It pisses me off, and she deserved her final girl status because she fought and she kept going. Another thing though in how these characters turned out truly speaks volumes with real world problems like identity collapse after high school. People set these high bars for themselves and, you know, all these plans to get out of town and do something big, but in reality they just get knocked up, have a kid. The best years are behind them and the future is just one big void. What are you gonna be becomes what are you now? The Fisherman villain is so whack to me. Wanna be Candyman so bad with your weak ass hook, and it's not even cool looking. Like, bro is just holding it, because if I knock it out your hand, then what? There just isn't much mystery here. It doesn't feel strong. It's weak sauce. I just kept saying to myself out loud while rewatching, I don't care. This film wanted Scream's cleverness but missed the mark by 1,000 miles. Less meta and more melodramatic in the weakest way. Even though Julie is our final girl, Helen feels like one. This genre is always punishing the girls who aren't boring. I just don't buy Julie's rise to the occasion because it comes out of nowhere. Like a switch just went off and she's all of a sudden wanna call shots around here. Ray is a final boy because he got lucky a few times because Benjamin Willie got distracted. I don't care. I said what I said. Oh, and I'm gonna mention again all those rooms and hidden trap doors Julie found. Like, how the hell did she know where all this shit was? There was no reference of her knowing the ins and outs of boats. It's just like, this is convenience, as I said. My main memory with this film, I've seen this before if I didn't say it in the intro, but the only thing I really remembered was, you know, Helen's chase scene, and I remembered just fragments of the climax on the boat and how drawn out it was and like low-key kind of confusing. I don't know. The mystery here is just, oh, this is so whack. This is whack. There is no catharsis after Ben is yanked off the boat and this couple hugs as if it's all over. Bro, y'all dumped him in the water once and he was still alive. So what do you expect? This is not edgy. It's not weird. It's not trying anything. It's not trying to be different. It's just sanitized. No flavor, you know? If you notice, it got darker because some of my lights went out. They died on me, so it's telling me it's time to wrap the shit up. I didn't even bring up the very last scene, the glass jump scare. It's lazy. I guess there is an audience for this stuff though. But as a boy who adores horror, and specifically horror that is not only fun but interesting and clever, this is just sad. Writer Lois Duncan was very opposed to her YA novel being reworked into a slasher film, saying she was appalled in one interview, and this was probably due to the fact that her youngest daughter was murdered by an unknown assailant in 1989. She has said, as the mother of a child, I don't find violent death something to squeal and giggle about. But her original book wasn't that far off from a slasher. I mean, it's still a bunch of guilty teenagers being stalked and terrorized by a madman, but the only difference is that nobody dies in her version. So in that sense, it's more so like an old school mystery. Aside from the characters' names and the teens hitting someone with their car, the plot is almost completely different from the original. In the novel, they didn't hit a fisherman, but a young boy who was the brother of one of Helen's new friends, and the backstory to what happened in the car accident is explained in a lot more detail. The movie really only took the title because in the end, the teens come clean to the police in the book. I am not looking forward to this requel. I saw the trailer and it looks as bland as a piece of white bread, you know, but I'm sure I will probably end up watching it at some point just to see what it gives. Another film in this franchise feels completely unnecessary and is just part of this franchise revamp trend going on because Hollywood never wants to take risks but keep sucking on past success and fandoms and IP. It's tragic. I'm just ready for a new wave of studio heads. Can we skip to the next generation? Where is the art and where is the risk? What do you think about I Know What You Did Last Summer? Do you agree with me with this film being ass juice, or do you disagree? Comment down below why. Get a conversation going. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. Share this with your hard girlies and hard homies. Until next time, my friends, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.